Hello. We are back with another episode of Turn the Paige Podcast. And this week we are doing a book club Fridays, even though it's Saturday episode. I have not done one of these in a while because I'm going to be completely honest with you. I haven't been reading as much. I've still been reading because I am always perpetually reading, but I haven't been reading as much. And it's taken me a little bit longer to get through the books that I have read. But I have a nice little collection to share with you today. So we are going to do that. I'm going to jump right in with the first book being The Mountain Is You by Brianna Weist. And I listened to this book. A friend recommended it to me. And I listened to this book on Spotify. If you don't know and you're a premium user, you have 15 hours of free audiobooks a month. You're welcome. Enjoy every minute that you can. I took a lot of good golden nuggets from this book, but I can't necessarily say I walked away and was like deeply impacted by its message. I felt like some of the ways in which that she portrayed her vision was a little convoluted at times. Now, like I said, there were beautiful golden messages, golden nuggets within the bigger picture message. And I did find myself feeling inspired or lit up, but it took me a while to get through it, I think, because it just wasn't lighting me up as I was listening to it. And that happens sometimes. And sometimes I think it's like a timing thing. I think that sometimes some of the books in the self-development realm, if you've been listening to a lot of them or reading a lot of them or been on your healing journey for a while, that it can be really easy to kind of like find a book. The Mountain Is You. It's kind of overcoming self-sabotage. I guess I should have said that. But it's a book about overcoming self-sabotage. And I can relate to that. So I was interested in the message. And like I said, I took moments of inspiration from it. But overall, I didn't leave feeling massively impacted by the story. I'm really glad I audioed it. I'm really glad that it was like quick and easy. It wasn't very long. Maybe like 6 or 7 hours. I don't know. I can't remember. But I think I rated it like a 3-star. So average. And maybe if I would have come across this book like in the beginnings of my healing journey, it would have been more impactful. But like I said, I feel like I've heard a lot of these messages, and then sometimes the way in which she delivered them, I thought that was a little convoluted. If you're at the beginning of your healing journey or like your self-development journey when it comes to books, this may be something that is for you. If you were trying to overcome self-sabotage, I think that you can learn from anything. And like I said, you can take little bits and pieces from anything that you listen to or read. But this one I feel like was just a little like, I don't know, maybe wrong time. Maybe wrong time for me to have dove in. But like I said, that happens sometimes. And we just have to keep kind of rolling with the punches. I've also listened to her book, 101 Essays to Change Your Life, or like that one's like really popular. And it also like wasn't super impactful for me. Again, like I took good pieces and parts of it, but I didn't leave listening to that book feeling overly impacted. So maybe I just don't necessarily connect with this author very deeply. And that happens sometimes. That happens because we are all unique and we connect with different things and different people in the way in which they deliver their messages. So that is my thoughts on The Mountain Is You by Brianna Weist. The next book that I read was also recommended to me by a friend that is also my massage therapist. And it is Writing Down the Bones. He actually loaned me his copy. It's called Writing Down the Bones, Freeing the Writer Within by Natalie Goldberg. And honestly, I loved her no nonsense delivery. Like basically at the end of the book, I was just like, just fucking write. Like, that's all you have to do. It doesn't matter what it is, what it's about, how long it is. You just have to sit down and write. And it doesn't have to be profound every single time that you pick up your pen or pull up a Word document. It's just that you're exercising your craft. And she goes through this book and really delivers that message in a no nonsense way, but in a relatable way, in the ways in which that she lived her life and she experienced her relationship with writing and how it evolved and how it grew and how she shared that with others. And one of the things that I felt was like really inspiring and really stuck out to me is she like hosted these story time groups where basically like they would have a topic like, tell me about the place that you feel the safest in the world. And then like each person would come and like share about that experience in their life. And I think that that is something that I connected to because it's something that I would love to do. Like I would love to host like basically a story circle and just have a group of people come and share a piece of their story that maybe you never would have known in just passing conversation. Like how interesting is that? And this book really made me think about that. It made me think about the fact that each one of us are all having a different experience at the same time through a different lens and perspective. And so it's all affecting us differently and it's all rippling through our lives and through this experience differently. And the ways in which we take that experience, that story, and we utilize it, alchemize it into our lives to be able to share or to teach or to just raise kids, have relationships, whatever it is, it's powerful. It's impactful because we matter. Our words matter. Our experiences matter. And so it not only like gave me this inspiration to sit down and like pay attention to my writing and make it a priority, but it also reminded me that like actively listening and hearing other people's stories is a priority too. Maybe it's your mom, maybe it's your grandma, maybe it's your best friend, maybe it's a coworker, whatever it is. It can be impactful just to ask questions and be willing to not only listen, but truly, genuinely hear. So if you are a writer or if you just find yourself curious about the creative process, I highly recommend this book. It was a really easy read. Like I said, she has a very no nonsense delivery. And it just left me feeling inspired not only by her words, but just by life in general. And I think that that is a really cool, impactful feeling to have after reading what somebody's written. So, like I said, check it out. Writing Down the Bones, Freeing the Writer Within, Natalie Goldberg. So up next, I want to talk about the only fiction book that I have read recently because I've been in a very, very big slump when it comes to romance. When it comes to romance novels, I don't know. I think I like burnt myself out there for a hot minute. But I dove back in with one of my favorite authors, Devney Perry, the first book in her Treasure State Wildcat series. It's called Coach, and it is about our two main characters, Millie and Ford, and how they have a little bit of a forbidden like work romance, but it was also like they used to be friends, and then this like massive complication disrupted their relationship when it was trying to become more in the past. And then fast forward 10 years and they're back in each other's orbits. And Millie is a like an AD, but like a not like the main athletic director for this college, Treasure State, but she's like an associate athletic director or something. And I love that. I love that she is a woman working in like a male dominated industry. I love like how much of an asset she is to her job and to her work. I love seeing her trajectory of like learning to stand up for herself and to being able to really put into perspective the ways in which she's kept herself small. And then Ford comes back to town and is hired as the new head football coach. Hence the name. And, there is no like a no fraternization policy, of course, but they try to mend their friendship that was severed prior to, and then they go about reconnecting and reuniting with each other. So it's a beautiful story. I loved it. It was great to get back into the swing of things. I've already started the second one in the series, Blitz. I love Daphne Perry's writing. It's easy to read. It's so digestible. And it's literally just enjoyable stories, enjoyable characters, different unique ways in which she brings them together. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I rated it like a 4-star. And if you're new around here, I'm a pretty high rater because I think it takes an enormous set of balls to sit down and write any book. So like automatically, it's like normally like the worst I will rate a book is like a 2-star because it's just like that takes guts. It takes guts to be that vulnerable. It takes guts to do that work. It takes guts to be able to really put yourself out there and express yourself creatively that way. So yeah, I highly recommend. And if you are a Daphne Perry fan, yes, you will love this one just as much as you've loved all of her other works. And last but not least, I want to talk about the most impactful book that I have read in the last couple months, and that is The Girl Who Fell from the Sky by Emma Cary. And Emma is a woman from Australia, and at 20 years old, she was traveling abroad in Switzerland, and her parachute didn't deploy when she was skydiving. She stayed conscious for the entire time that she fell and landed on the ground, lived through this experience, and was able to find a way to completely shift the perspective in which she looked at the world, in which she looked at life, in the way in which she existed in the world after this tragic thing happened. And I think that that is the most inspiring thing in the world because we take advantage. We take advantage and we take for granted of the little things that we have. The ability to walk, the ability to go to the bathroom on our own, the ability to be able to run, to not be in pain or for our body to heal. We take so many of these basic things for granted. And she really reminded me through her mantra that she repeats consistently throughout the book is that if you can, you must. And so if you have the opportunity to do something, if you have a dream, if you have a desire, if you want to travel, if you want to fall in love, if you want to have a baby, if you want to climb the ladder at your career, if you want to write a book, whatever it is, if you have the ability to physically do that thing, if you can, you must. And don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. And I think that we do that in this life. We forget. We forget how fleeting it is. And we forget how fragile we are as humans, like physically. And we need to be able to remember that and put that into perspective, especially at times like this when it feels like the world is absolutely on fire. Like we are so fortunate in our day-to-day lives, and we have to be the ones willing to witness that. And so this book was so inspirational. I love following her on social media. I think she has a great essence, a great message, and to see the ways in which she not only overcame this massive life-changing experience, but the way that she's still choosing to overcome it each and every day, the way in which like she's choosing to show up and live life and not allowing these things to define her. Because how often is it that we allow these little teeny tiny things in our life to define us? The way we look, the clothes, the money in our bank account, the way in which we're perceived by other people. For what? For what? Our essence matters. Our spirit matters. Our voice matters. And we are in here. This is just a shell that we get to utilize in this life. And we get to choose how much power we give to it. Yes, we can take care of it. Yes, we can value, like getting ready and putting on clothes that make us feel confident and empowered. But we don't have to give our power away to it. And this book was such a beautiful reminder of that. And she has such a beautiful message. And I just think that I don't know. It's a great message for teenagers, for 20-year-olds, for me as a 30-year-old, at any age. It doesn't matter what age you are. It's never too late to start appreciating life. It's never too late to start showing up in the world and honoring your presence. It's never too late to stop abandoning yourself, to stop negating all of the beautiful and wonderful things that you are and the things that you have. And it's a shame that we don't live in a world that is built more on that rather than fitting into the box that, makes us deemed accepted. But I feel like that's changing. I feel like that's changing each and every day. I find myself showing up in rooms and observing my behavior, my responses, and the way in which that I want to be seen in a way that's so different than I used to. I used to be anxious. I used to be worried. I used to desire and want to be accepted and want to fit. And now I'm just observing the ways in which that these rooms make me feel, the way in which my responses make me feel. Does this feel like me? Is this one of my many masks that I've put on over the years? Do I feel seen by these people? Am I seeing them? And Emma just has a really beautiful way of being able to put that into perspective. And just, I look up to her in the way in which that she's taken on this world and this life after this thing has happened. And so I was massively impacted by it. And I hope you read it. I hope you read it. If you read any of these books that I have recommended today, please read that one, because if you can, you must. And that message is something that I think all of us can learn from, appreciate, and take moving forward in many, many different things in many, many different ways in this life. So thank you for being with me on this very quick Book Club Fridays, recorded and released on a Saturday episode. If you'd like to connect more, please reach out, leave a rate or review if you love listening to the podcast or watching on YouTube. I would greatly appreciate it. Come connect with me over on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok at Turn the Paige Podcast. I appreciate each and every one of you. You rock. You matter. I love you. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.